friends, good morning, welcome or welcome back to the Sustainable Sierra YouTube channel. If you're new around here or it's been a while, hi, welcome. My name is Sierra. I'm an American living in England. I make a video about our family's life here and the shenanigans either I get up to or we as a family get up to on the weekly. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different, that it's actually part of our China adoption series. If you haven't seen anything about that, I have an entire playlist about it if you want to check it out. As you can probably assume correctly, the Reader's Digest version about that is that yes, we have a Chinese son that we brought into our family about 3 years ago, and he's the love of our life, and we just feel incredibly blessed that he's part of our family. And actually, he is the reason that this video is being made, and the reason actually that, of course, we started celebrating the Moon Festivals. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how our blended family celebrates the Chinese Moon Festival, or the Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival, or you can call it either one, really. We're going to talk about the ways that our family has celebrated it, but first I have a couple of disclaimers and then we will get into it. Is that cool? Okay. Disclaimer number one is this video is for entertainment purposes only, and I am not trying to tell anyone in the adoption community how they should be celebrating Moon Festival or if they should be celebrating it. It's just something that our family chooses to do as part of our family's intercultural tradition. So if you want to celebrate Moon Festival, great. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Number two, I realized that I here am sitting as a white person talking about the Moon Festival. Once again, going back to the previous disclaimer, I'm not here to represent the Moon Festival. I'm just here to share the ways that our family has kind of grown to celebrate Moon Festival over the years and what we did this past year. So yeah, there's that. And then number three, I am sitting here being honest and saying that I don't know everything there is to know about the Moon Festival, and I also realize that the Moon Festival is just not a Chinese holiday, that it is celebrated all around Asia, and so some of the traditions that our family incorporates may not be perfectly Chinese or perfectly Japanese or perfectly whatever it is that you're used to, but once again, this is the way that we celebrate it, and this is the way that our son has kind of learned about it over the years after living in Japan and having lived in China, and then this is just what we do with our family. And the fourth and final one, which I want to just apologize now because I'm sure there's someone on the internet that will be angry about this video and that I am making this video. If that makes you upset, I'm sorry. Maybe this isn't the video for you, and I'll see you guys next time. Is that okay? All right, moving on. So now let's actually jump into talking about what we're actually talking about, which is celebrating the Moon Festival or the Mid-Autumn Festival. I'm going to use both interchangeably in the video, just seeing how it comes out, but it is essentially the same thing. Moon Festival, if you don't know what it is, I actually had never heard of it before until we looked into adopting from China. I'd heard about it a bit in university because I had a lot of Chinese American friends, but it wasn't like a huge holiday for them. At least it didn't seem like it in college or anything, so I really hadn't learned much about it until relatively recently. So the Moon Festival is celebrated usually in the early fall, of course. This year it was on the 10th of September, and the entire holiday is kind of about preparing for the autumn, ending the summer, and kind of getting ready for the fall, and all that entails, and being thankful that the harvest has come. I know there's more to it than that, but that's kind of how our family sees it, if you know what I mean. Okay, so there is a beautiful story about the Moon Festival. I'm not going to talk about it right now just because I've heard about 5 different versions and I'm not sure which one's the official one, but there is a children's book that talks about it. I'm going to show you guys in a little bit, so as part of our little family celebrations. So I'll talk about that then. And now we're going to move on to the ways that our family celebrates. So the first thing that our family does to celebrate Moon Festival, actually we started when little man got home because Moon Festival had just ended the day, a couple of weeks before little man came home on his first autumn with us, but we have some books about it which I purchased previously, and that's kind of how we started introducing the holiday, because apparently little man had never heard of it before, or maybe he had never heard about it in English. I don't know. He says that he doesn't remember it in China, but it's possible they didn't do it in his CWI in China. So yeah, anyways, so the books that we picked up, actually I'll show you the ones that we got, I guess, in order that we got them, because I don't know, just because it makes the most sense to me. So the first one I want to show you is called Thanking the Moon, and I will put links to all these down in the description, by the way, if you want to check them out for next year or whatever, or if you see this a year from now and you want to prepare and you can order them. But anyways, Thanking the Moon is a really cute story about a little girl and her family, and it basically tells the story of their Moon Festival evening, and it's really cute. And so through this, little man was able to kind of see, you know, what the traditional foods look like and learn about it a little bit, and that was really fun for us. And then the second book that we have in our collection is called Yin Yi's Lantern, A Moon Festival Tale, which this one does not talk about the actual story of the Moon Festival, I don't think, but it's a story of a little boy who goes shopping for Moon Festival to get all the items he needs for his family, but he really wants a red lantern, but he's not sure if he can be able to get it because he doesn't know if he has enough money. But at the end of the story, he gets the red lantern. Actually, his grandfather gets it for him, and it's a really sweet story. And again, it talks about preparing for the Moon Festival and talks a little bit about what the Moon Festival is about. So that was a really good one. The only piece of criticism that I have for this one is it is pretty text heavy. So if you are, that's not a good example, but it's got pretty small text and it's pretty text heavy, and so if you have a younger child, they may just not be interested. Little Man liked it this year, but the last 2 years Little Man just was not into it. And then the third book I want to show you actually just joined our collection this year, and it is just the classic book called Mooncakes. And this is a really cute story, and I think it's probably my favorite of the three because it not only talks about mooncakes, has the name of the book, but it also throughout the book the little girl's family is sharing the story of the moon goddess with her, which is kind of the whole point for the holiday. So it's a really good way to show your child the story in a way that's like easy for them to understand versus just like telling them about it orally, if you know what I mean. But yeah, all these books are great. Once again, I will link them down for you in the description. The next way that our family celebrates the Moon Festival is we make lanterns. I have a little clip. I'll show you guys a little man I'm making them, but actually I was inspired by, I think it was Yin Yi's lantern. Sometimes in China, children make their lanterns, sometimes they buy them. I think it just kind of depends on where you grow up. But actually in the back of the book, there are directions on how to make Chinese lanterns. If you went to school in the US, you probably made them for Chinese New Year, but it's really simple. You just take a piece of paper and draw on it, fold it, cut it, and then you make it into a little lantern. Or you could get some of those real lanterns like on here. You can just get them on Amazon. I'll throw a couple links for those down there as well. There's gonna be a lot of Amazon links on here, you guys, just because there's nothing like this anywhere in Yorkshire that I can get hold of. But yeah, those are really fun too. And then the next way that our family celebrates the Moon Festival is we like to make mooncakes. Actually, that's a lie. This year, we finally made our own mooncakes. Previously, in the years we lived in Japan, we would buy, not like the Chinese ones, but like kind of like the Japanese equivalent. They have special, really fancy ones that come out in the autumn, and we used those in place of mooncakes because that was available and they were delicious. This year in England, we ended up ordering a little mold online and making mooncakes. Believe it or not, they're actually pretty easy to make depending on which ones you make. There's a lot of different recipes out there on the internet, but the one that we use is a mochi mooncake recipe. And the reason I chose that one is because it's very similar to making dango. Not the same, but almost the same ingredients. And it was kind of easy for me to replicate. I'll show you guys that footage right here. It's really easy, and I'll put all of the ingredient proportions on the screen. I think I might have made a couple of little mistakes. The biggest one I made is we didn't eat them fresh the same day. I kept them in the fridge overnight because I made them the day before. I recommend not doing that. I recommend making them in the morning and just leaving them out and letting them sit, or only keeping them in the fridge for a little while because the sugar in the paste kind of pulled the water out of the bean paste and then kind of made the bottom of them squishy. They didn't look as pretty as I wanted them to, but they still tasted really good. And then the last and final thing that our family did to celebrate the Moon Festival this year is we had a special fancy dinner at home. Basically what I did is I decorated the table with autumnal decor, as you guys can see or you guys saw on Instagram, and we had a beautiful meal of Chinese takeout because that's what Little Man wanted, because, you know, once again, it's kind of his holiday, if you guys know what I mean. And we gave Little Man a present because that's just part of something that our family likes to do on these special holidays, to kind of make Little Man and the whole experience feel a little bit more special. So yeah, that's everything that our family did this year to celebrate the Moon Festival. I probably forgot something. Every year our family celebration looks a little bit different, but yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share how our family does it. So if you guys have any questions for me, or if you have any suggestions how our family can make our Moon Festival celebration a little bit more special, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy Moon Festival.
Happy Moon Festival.